Hi everyone, welcome back. I can hear the birds chirping still. You hear the birdies? I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm taking you on a funky expedition, guys. I'm dating myself. Remember this song? See if it'll play. That's just the instrumental. You know what song that is. It's the best, right? We're just a bunch of conscious daughters cracking the karmic code. That's crazy, guys. Crazy. I'm trying to. Because they want to attribute everything to karma, karma, karma. And, we'll just see. Is it karma? Or is it the will of the Most High, Exodus 3:14, higher, higher. It's definitely a funky expedition just to even know who the real supreme creator is, because you've been taught in these churches that it was totally something different. And these churches are all synchronized in all these different belief systems, and it's like not hard to tell where you see the modern influence, right? So let's go, because everybody and their grandma now is saying the word karma. It's nuts. It's nuts. Idols again. Idolatry again. What's up with those ears? How many people putting those nasty ass plugs in their earlobes, stretching that shit out? They think they're original, guys. They think they are it. Like, really though? You see? Stuff has been done before. So in Jainism, karma conveys a totally different meaning from that commonly understood in Hindu philosophy and Western civilization. Jain is the one of the oldest Indian philosophy that completely separates body, matter from the soul, pure consciousness. In Jainism, karma is referred to as karmic dirt, as it consists of very subtle particles of matter that pervade the entire universe. Karmas are attracted to the karmic field of a soul due to vibrations created by activities of mind, speech, and body, as well as various mental dispositions. Hence, the karmas are the subtle matter surrounding the consciousness of a soul. When these two components, consciousness and karma, interact, we experience the life we know at present. Jain texts expound that 7 tattvas, truths or fundamentals, constitute reality. There's more 7. Can't get away from that number. Types of karmas. So maybe there's just like some elements, like, because you got anger, pride. I mean, these could be spirits. This could be like personified entities, because the more you get into it, it's like karmas. I mean, like, what are you talking about, really, right? You really start going into some things. So it's definitely, because it's a broad term, people just use this term, not realizing there's a whole subsect here. A whole chart. You got pride, anger, passions. Very interesting. As per the Jain philosophy, so there's 7. The jiva, the soul, which is characterized by consciousness Ajiva, the non-soul. Asrava, inflow of auspicious and evil karmic matter into the soul. Bandha, look at that, bondage. Mutual intermingling of the soul and karmas. Samvara, stoppage. Obstruction of the inflow of karmic matter in the soul. Nijara, gradual dissociation, separating or falling off of part of karmic matter from the soul. Moksha, liberation, complete annihilation of all karmic matter bound with any particular soul. For all we know, this could be what they do in neurophysics in the CERN Hadron Collider. Like, they could know about this because they do that Shiva dance. Have you guys ever seen the CERN intro? Their crazy promotional video. You'll have to look that up. Crazy shit. So, goes into the different ritual offerings they do. This emphasis on reaping the fruits of one's own karma was not restricted to the Jainas. Both Hindus and Buddhist writers have produced doctrinal material stressing the same point. Each of the latter traditions, however, developed practices in basic contradiction to such belief. In addition to Shraddha, the ritual Hindu offerings by the son of deceased, we find among Hindus widespread adherence to the notion of divine intervention in one's fate, while Buddhists eventually came to propound such theories like boon granting, bod, like hot bod, hisattvas, transfer of merit, and like. Only Janus has been absolutely unwilling to allow such ideas to penetrate their community, despite the fact that there must have been tremendous amount of social pressure on them to do so. The relationship between the soul and karma can be explained with the analogy of gold. Like gold is always found mixed with impurities in its original state, Jainism holds that the soul is not pure at its origin, but is always impure and defiled like natural gold. One can exert effort and purify gold. Similarly, Jainism states that the defiled soul can be purified by proper refining methodology. So you go into, how it affects rebirths. We've already heard that. And you got, and it talks about this divine entity. Oh boy. So there is something up in here going on. Who is their divine? Oh, is this the absence of the exogenous? Well, these are all the entities people are getting in these churches under different names. Oh, there's your Jesus. Oh, then you wonder why everybody you know is two-faced. All this shit. Just put in the word deity. That's why God, you need to qualify that term, right? That's why we do it. We know it's a Greek word, that word God. We know. But there are 8 types of karma. Did you know? So there's 8 types, too, which attach to a soul. So you got knowledge obstruction, perception obstruction, sensation producing, deluding, that's interesting, Ayu, life-spanning, determining, like a prisoner remains trapped by iron chains around his legs, hands. This karma keeps a soul trapped in a particular life or birth. Nam, body producing, like a painter creates various pictures and gives them various names. This karma gives souls various types of bodies that are classified based on various attributes. Gotra, status determining. Like a potter makes short and tall pots, this karma bestows a low or high societal status on the body of soul. It creates social inequalities. In its absence, all souls are equal. There are two subtypes of Gotra karma. High status, look at that, guys. I find this all very interesting because, so it's like, it is trying to take a place of the Most High. I guess it's not the Most High doing it, it's these karmas, you know? So more Eastern influence up in here on Western thought. Antaray, power obstructing, like a treasurer obstructs a king from spending his wealth. This karma prevents the soul from using its innate power for acts of charity, profit, enjoyment, repeated enjoyment, and willpower. It obstructs and prevents the soul's essential quality of infinite power from manifesting. In its absence, the soul has infinite power. I mean, these could be like the negative entities, like what they would call like demonic forces or whatever. You got Anunnaki, who knows, right? But in Sikhism, we went into this term, all living beings are described as being under the influence of the three qualities, which is called Maya, which literally means illusion or magic. We all live in this magic show, right? Always present together in various mix and degrees. These three qualities of Maya bind the soul to the body and to the earth plane. Above these three qualities is the eternal time. Due to the influence of three modes of Maya's natures, jivas, almost like jinn, right? Individual beings perform activities under the control and purview of the eternal time. So in a way, when you talk about karma, there are beings who influence certain things, but they don't have the ultimate say. These activities are called karma, wherein the underlying principle is that karma is the law that brings back the results of actions to the person performing them. The life is likened to a field in which our karma is the seed. We harvest exactly what we sow, no less, no more. This infallible law of karma holds everyone responsible for what the person is or is going to be. Based on the total sum of past karma, some feel close to the pure being in this life, and others feel separated. This is the law of karma in Gurbani, Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Like other Indian and Oriental schools of thought, the Gurbani also accepts the doctrines of karma and reincarnation as the facts of nature. I thought this was interesting when you see the term D, or it also means virtue, D-E. I thought that was pretty cool. Is reserved for what might otherwise be termed good karma in Buddhism. So you can definitely go into, because this is, studied extensively in the schools, but I found this part. What does that make you think of, guys? You already know. You already know. What verse was that, my friends? Psalms, huh? Is that... times you see it, right? We gotta put reap what you sow, KJV. You reap what you sow, right? Hosea chapter 10 verse 12, sow to yourselves in righteousness, reap in mercy, break up your fallow ground, for it's time to seek the Lord, till he come and rain righteousness upon you. That's so amazing, because it was raining today real quick, and I was talking about the birds, how they don't worry like we do, and you know, the Most High has been having these birds singing all day today and helping me like at least smile with that, right? So I hope that you were able to hear the birds in some of the past couple of videos I made today. I mean, that was really cute. Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much better than they? That's right. Even Luke, consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap. I know everybody's like, I work this many hours, I'm better than you. I work this many hours, I get more military Federal Reserve notes than you, because I'm too dumb to know that promissory notes are money, and I don't know anything, so I'm just gonna... Man, this shit is getting crazy now. It's just getting crazy out there. They don't worry about none of that shit, which neither have storehouse nor barn, and God feeds them. How much better are you than the fowls? Right? Like, even money, or however you want to look at it, it's just a means to an end. You know, don't idolize these statues, these ideologies, money, or whatever. At the end of the day, no one's worried about what was in their bank account on their deathbed. Let me just tell you that right now. The book of Job, chapter 4, verse 8, even I have seen that they plow iniquity. Oh yeah, baby, they do. And sow wickedness, reap the same. Oh, what else? So many, right? So many. Wow. Yep. Leviticus, 2 Kings. You know, just putting that in, but reaping what you sow, right? You know, and another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. Revelation chapter 14, verse 15. So there's a lot. You can really go into it. But you reap what you sow. We already know that came from the good book. So I won't keep you long, because I wanted to go into the book of Jasher. Let's see. Let's see where I was here. Let's start at verse... How it's not karma, because we know the story of Cain and Abel, right? This is the book of Jasher. Of course, they took away all, you know, they try to hide these books. The Vatican knows this book really well, and the Bible also refers to the book of Jasher. You could do a search on that. Okay, it's referenced in the book of Joshua, chapter 10. I'll show you the top of this right here. This book here is referenced in the book of Joshua, chapter 10, verse 13. 2 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 18, and 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 8. Okay? So we're going to go into verse 21. And Cain said to his brother Abel, so they got into it, right? Because even in the Bible, it doesn't even get into it, right? of what happened between these two, right? And so what happened when she had her firstborn? Let's read a little bit of this story. Of course, verse 13 it starts. These numbers. And she called the name of the firstborn Cain, saying, I have obtained a man from the Lord. And the name of the other she called Abel, for she said, In vanity we came into the earth, and in vanity we shall be taken from it. And the boys grew up, and their father Cain gave them a possession in the land. And Cain was a tiller of the ground, and Abel a keeper of sheep. And it was at the expiration of a few years that they brought an approximating offering to the Lord, and Cain brought from the fruit of the ground, and Abel brought from the firstlings of his flock from the fat thereof. And God turned and inclined to Abel and his offering, and a fire came down from the Lord from heaven and consumed it. And unto Cain and his offering the Lord did not turn, and he did not incline to it. For he had brought from the inferior fruit of the ground before the Lord, and Cain was jealous against his brother Abel on account of this, and he saw a pretext to slay him. And in some time after, Cain and Abel his brother went one day into the field to do their work, and they were both in the field, Cain tilling and plowing his ground, and Abel feeding his flock. And the flock passed that part which Cain had plowed in the ground, and it sorely grieved Cain on this account. And Cain approached his brother Abel in anger, and said unto him, What is there between me and thee, that thou come to dwell and bring thy flock to feed in my land? And Abel answered his brother Cain, and said unto him, What is there between me and thee, that thou shalt eat the flesh of my flock, and clothe thyself with their wool? And now therefore put off the wool of my sheep, with which thou hast clothed thyself, and recompense me for their fruit and flesh, which thou hast eaten. And when thou shalt have done this, I will then go from thy land, as thou hast said. And Cain said to his brother Abel, Surely, if I slay thee this day, who will require that blood for me? Most people would say Carmel. Verse 22. And Abel answered Cain, saying, Surely God, who has made us in the earth, he will avenge my cause, and he will require my blood from thee, should thou slay me. For the Lord is the judge and arbiter, and it is he who will requite man according to his evil, and the wicked man according to the wickedness that he may do upon earth. Please don't mind the wicked ice cream truck. That's a whole video that got taken down. I don't trust them. And now if thou shouldst slay me here, surely God knoweth thy secret views, and will judge thee for the evil which thou did declare to do unto me this day. And when Cain heard the words which Abel his brother had spoken, behold, the anger of Cain was kindled against his brother Abel for declaring this thing. And Cain hastened and rose up, and took the iron part of his plowing instrument, with which he suddenly smote his brother, and he slew him. And Cain spilt the blood of his brother Abel upon the earth, and the blood of Abel streamed upon the earth before the flock. And after this Cain repented having slain his brother, and he was sadly grieved, and he wept over him, and it vexed him exceedingly. And Cain rose up and dug a hole in the field, wherein he put his brother's body, and he turned the dust over it. And the Lord knew what Cain had done to his brother. And the Lord appeared to Cain, and said unto him, Where is Abel thy brother that was with thee? And Cain dissembled and said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? And the Lord said unto him, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cries unto me from the ground where thou hast slain him. For thou hast slain thy brother, and hast dissembled before me, and did imagine in thy heart that I saw thee not, nor knew all thy actions. But thou did this thing, and did slay thy brother for naught, and because he spoke rightly to thee. And now therefore cursed be thou from the ground, which opens its mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hands, and wherein thou didst bury him. And it shall be when thou shalt till it, it shall no more give thee its strength as in the beginning. For thorns and thistles shall the ground produce, and thou shalt be moving and wandering in the earth until the day of thy death. And at that time Cain went out from the presence of the Lord, from the place where he was, and he went moving and wandering in the land toward the east of Eden, he and all belonging to him. And Cain knew his wife in those days, and she conceived and bare a son, and called his name Enoch. So this is, when you see writings of Enoch, like 2, 3, like, you know how there are other writings, that will be different than the other one that came from Seth. There's 2 of them. So just like you can have the same given name as someone else, it doesn't mean you're the same, right, individual. So that's important to know with scripture. So saying, in that time the Lord began to give him rest and quiet in the earth. And at that time Cain also began to build a city, and he built the city, and he called the name of the city Enoch, according to the name of his son. For in those days the Lord had given him rest upon the earth, and he did not move about and wander as in the beginning. And Irad was born to Enoch, and Irad begot Mekuyael. It's almost this. Oh, Mekuyael begat Methusael. So that's important to know. And hold on, it's going to continue on in the next chapter, right? So, I mean, I'm just on a roll today. I've been fasting today, guys. And I've been by myself all day. You see how productive one can be when you just let the birds chirp, let the Most High, you know? Some days you gotta be like that. Some days I gotta put everything else down for a minute. Just let my spirit, I'm gonna go wash my bathroom floor in a second. You know, you just gotta do that. And I got a lot of great inspiration today. And take a nice shower, do your self-care. And you could always just be, listening to some of my podcasts, while you're doing other things too, right? Hopefully, because sometimes some of those chores, right, the house chores can get monotonous. Sure can. That's why I gotta bump some of my music sometimes. So it goes into the story, what happens in chapter 2. So I'll just go into it. You're going to see that, when you see wicked people, like, oh, wow, they did this and that. But you see how Cain was able to build a city, or, go on for years and years. But the Most High did not forget his indiscretion. See, I think it goes into verse 27. I like in the book, I'm looking at the book right now to make sure we're in line. It gives you like the year Anno Mundi. I think this gives you like the real timeline, because this is the year 395. So Anno Mundi means since the year of creation, which is really good. So it goes into his line, right, of Tubal-Cain, which was a descendant, right? Lamech goes into Lamech. Yeah, we can start here. I'll let you guys read that on your own because, And the same thing is happening today too. This is all in line with the story of like that bloodline. In verse 19, for in those days the sons of men began to trespass against God and to transgress the commandments of which he had commanded to Adam, to be fruitful and multiply on the earth. Verse 20, and some of the sons of men caused their wives to drink a draught or a drink that could be perceived as birth control that would render them what? Barren, in order that they might retain their figures and whereby their beautiful appearance might not fade. Now you know why, men, some of the women today are losing their damn minds. Who caused them to do that? The sons of men caused their wives to do that. And they expect you to go on birth control, or when anybody tries to push abortion, you need a kick in the freaking balls. That's what you need. Okay? Because that's bullshit. So much pressure on women, right? To be sexual, but then not get pregnant. Like, what the freak is going on with people? So, verse 27, Tubal came. Cain told his father to draw his bow, and with the arrows he smote Cain. He killed Cain. So Cain got killed later on. Right? By somebody in his own family, I think. Can you read this correctly? Who was yet far off, and he slew him, for he appeared to them to be an animal. He must be hairy too. And the arrows entered Cain's body, although he was distant from them. And he fell to the ground and died. And the Lord, look at that. What does verse 29 tell us? Boom! Karma, my foot. And the Lord requited Cain's evil according to his wickedness, which he had done to his brother Abel. According to what? Dun dun dun! The word of the Lord, which he had spoken. And it came to pass when Cain had died, that Lamech and Tubal went to see the animal which they had slain, and they saw, and behold, Cain their grandfather, isn't that some shit, was fallen dead upon the earth. And Lamech was very much grieved at having done this, and in clapping his hands together he struck his son. See how he even goes to the children and he struck his son, and he accidentally killed his son. And of course the wives of Lamech, so it went from bad to worse. They wanted to kill his ass. Don't even get me started with having more than one wife. That's that was biblical stuff. But what does that tell you right there? Book of Jasher was definitely in the good book. Reap what you sow, man. You reap what you sow. Karma Sutra. That's what we're trying to do. Crack this code. This karmic code. We're always cracking codes here. Always bringing you guys on funky expeditions. Got all the references you need, guys. I know some of you guys are really fickle. And you're going to have a lot of these other terms. Amor fati. A Latin phrase that may be... oh, of course. Latin influence. Christianity. The problem of evil. So strange. It shoots further than his dreams. What is that? Well, that's an interesting thing. Militarism. Never seen that picture before, but yeah. Anybody who promotes militarism, yeah, it has to come around, right? What they say, what goes around. Oh, so it was Galatians, chapter 6, verse 7. That's where it was. It was hard to see it. Sometimes when you make it big, right? Right here it says it. Da, 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 da. You reap what you sow. That's in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 7. Oh, of course there's that 7. And live by the sword. die by the sword. Matthew chapter 26, verse 52. You got spiritism, but look at all this stuff. Luck, karmic yoga, just world hypothesis. You got a lot of stuff going on, right? Unintended consequence. So, how does it go to social credit system? I freaking can't, guys. Of course, somehow, some way. Because on the flip side, right? Behind the looking glass, they take, you know, what do they say? Imitation is the highest form of flattery. They always take the supreme, the real creator, right? Of the Old Testament. That's the one I ascribe to, Exodus 3:14. They always take his principles and then, like, always have to, like, make their own spin on it. Like, how original are you? And a lot of these thoughts, they came into, like, the 3rd, 4th century, so just interesting stuff. Sure it evolved over time, but you got a whole chart, falsehood, right faith, or, you know, who knows, but you see this very, very prevalent today. And when it comes to this term being thrown around like no one's business, they definitely have not seen the book of Jasher. It's like, read that. Don't tell me people with their dangling earlobes. Oh yeah, it never stops around here with the... Yeah, it's gonna be a live one this weekend. I can feel the energy in the air, guys. I mean, I've been freaking buzzing. I mean, for me to put up 3 videos in one day, you already know. But on Alpha 7, I'll probably put this on Alpha 7. The next few videos, guys, on Alpha 7 Media, the channel's been really growing. It's cool. I'll finish that book, Double Speak. I'll start taking video clips. I'll see if I have any privacy tomorrow. Or I'll definitely come back at it on Monday. I got other work to do, typing documents, you know, cleaning, doing 100 things, and I'll try to eat a little bit of, you know, something later. But usually sometimes during the day I do fasting, and I just, you know, take in my liquids and stuff, and I'll get like such clarity, right? And I'm sure in these different religions, they also use that in their view too, right? Now you got them show, you know, and you see the lotus in a lot too. And if you guys are really familiar with I Pet Goat, that series I Pet Goat, they love showing the damn lotus. A lotus birth is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys ever heard of those. That's the only time I heard it in, like, you know, like a really useful way. But, you know, we'll see a lot of this. And again, it's like, oh, treat others how you want to be treated. All this stuff is like biblical principles, though. But they think that you get recycled in this plane. I don't know, guys. Pretty crazy. And of course, popular culture. Sounds like an entity. Sounds like a living entity, like Helios. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? And they do say, you know, once you get into it, yeah, it kind of sounds, you know, different karmas, you know. It makes you go into, like, the jinn talk, and you get a lot with the prayer wheel. And that's a whole different thing, too, you can go into. So, definitely check out these concepts. Really interesting. Yeah, Kama Sutra. This is definitely a funky expedition, guys. I hope this was interesting to you. I know, right? What? Sometimes there's a car. There's a car? Why wouldn't they be? I don't know. What is that? Is that a new vehicle? Get out of here. Oh, well, you got a car. Karma. Some of these cars, right? It's like they got, like, energies in them, if you know what I'm saying. Right? Like Knight Rider. It's like, it's alive. It's alive. Pretty interesting, guys. Karma. See, I don't know. Karma could be like a entity, right? I'm sure, and you know, because these young people with their anime and shit, right? With their anime and shit, like, you'll probably get characters with this name too. So just keep a lookout for that. But yes, is it karma or is it the will of the Most High? You tell me. Only you can make your own decisions. But I hope this was educational. I got to go. Love you all. Have a wonderful day. And I'll talk to you soon.